watching on People and for Business, and this is stage 4 for hockey stick growth. And today we are live on IBGR Network, and also we are live on our Facebook page at IBGR Network, and also CKH Network page, also at YouTube as well. So feel free to ask questions, and we're looking forward to respond each and every questions that seems very interesting and important for business growth. And this is your host today, Coach Kamrul Hasan. I'm from Bangladesh. I'm the founder of CKH Network, and I have worked for 20 years into the organizations, the world-class organizations like HSBC to Ericsson to Huawei to Dun& Bradstreet to Bank. And I have learned about the basics and also the advanced level of business success, why business success succeeds and why business fails is only several things. Or we can break it down to a couple of things. Actually, the people matters. And today we're going to talk about a very important aspect of people into the business and how you can actually grow your business ultimately. And today is the episode 9, and our topic today is reward for helping others to perform inside the organization. And guess what? That matters really most. If your people are not performing for your goal and objective, think about it. Can you really succeed? I guess not. So this is our episode 9, and on the last episode we talked about the reward for a special episode. And this is the stage what we call for hockey stick growth. And what is hockey stick growth? Hockey stick growth is growing exponentially. You grow for full potential of the business that you do. Definitely, when you have started your business, you have set something inside your mind that you want to achieve some business share, some share of the market, some market segment that you want to serve, some niche, some areas, some quantifiable numbers that you have designed, you have thought, and you have integrated into your offering through different strategies, techniques, process, methods, and you have set the organization as such for achieving that goal. And that's what the hockey stick growth. And listen to us every week, Thursday, same time, and we are going to take you through various topics for hockey stick growth for your business. And if you're new to IBGR Network, make sure you're watching and you're downloading the show note as well, because on the show note you will get to know what actually I'm talking each and every episode. Yes, and you can download it and you can use it for your business. So let's talk about what you actually going to learn today on reward for helping others. You see, so this is very important. In the next 55 minutes, you would listen it and you would watch. If you're watching on Facebook on IBGR Network or in CKH Network, you would know why the employee reward and recognition matters today. And what's those? What's those? Right? This is something. This is really very connected with employees' moral. How can you really improve the moral of your employees? How can you enhance the employee loyalty? Think about it. Loyalty. A loyal employee is how he or she can serve. You would know because of the integrated approach for your reward system for helping others to perform. What else you would know? How can you increase the productivity? By giving the reward and recognition to help others. And absolutely, productivity end of the day going to help you to increase the sales. And what? If you are increasing sales, eventually actually getting higher revenue and also higher net profit. You see, that's actually driving towards the efficiency. Every one of us will love to have efficient organization, isn't it? Let me know. If you are not, I'm sure you do. Right? And what else? A lot of time I have heard my bosses saying, you got to own your job. You got to take responsibility. And the ownership and sense of ownership only can create if you're rewarding to perform and helping others and you're giving them reward. And that actually creates a sense of ownership. And when the sense of ownership increases, can you correlate what's going to happen? Because I am working for the organization's goal. I am working to achieve the target of the organization, what is actually meant for, and thus it increases the teamwork. Yes, because you alone cannot go that far, and you alone in today's context you cannot achieve many things if other team player actually not helping you in any way, whatever you are doing. And end of the day, it is the teamwork which sets the organization to become most effective, most efficient, and to become most productive. So teamwork. And what else? A lot of time we also forget, we want to achieve result. We want to create the values. We want to contribute. We want to create impact. Everything is correct. We want to motivate people, right, for that. And that's the another important. This brings the motivation from inside. This is an intrinsic value which you need to bring as an employer, as an owner of the business. And if you are chief executive or if you are running a big team, this is also important for you. How can you motivate your team member? How can you have their 100% wholeheartedness? How can you have the commitment towards the goal and towards the mission, towards the dream that you have? And that is only the motivation can bring from inside of your employees to outside, which can be reflected through the work. That's what we're going to bring. And another last important thing is the employee retention. A lot of time I also keep on hearing, how can we as a coach, as you know, I'm a business coach, I'm a professional coach, I'm John Maxwell certified coach, and I have also attended at Harvard University for leadership studies and coaching. So often leaders, we talk to the organization leaders and they ask me, you know, they're having one problem. And what is that problem? Employee retention. You see, this is a trend today. A lot of people actually tends to leave the organization for some reasons. Now, some not necessarily always is reward, recognition, salaries, but a lot of time the other things like the working relationship with the boss, the values, the culture, the bad practice, and there are so many things which is not directly related with the employees' benefit, salaries, reward, recognition, even. So the retention also is very critical. If you are setting a proper systems, process, and methods which is actually triggering somebody and everybody towards the organization to help each other, you see, then employee retention, I guess, and I bet it would increase significantly. And that has been proved over the years. So that's what is we are going to talk about, how you can create this, right? This is why you need to listen to our program into the next 45 minutes or so. And every week we are going to bring you this kind of topic and you would know what, and also you would know how you can implement this. As of now, you have heard the moral loyalty, you have had the productivity, you have had the net profit incremental growth, you've had the sense of ownership, teamwork, motivation, and also the employee retention. You see, you need to let people know that their hard work is valuable, isn't it? If your employees is actually aware that their work is been recognized, their work is been counted, their work is been appreciated, and it has been translated into the reward, guess what? The employees' motivation would come towards. So that is one thing I often say that should be a common practice. Employee recognition. Be it formal. We'll talk about the formal ways of recognition, informal ways of recognition. In either case, be it formal, be it non-formal, doesn't matter. But it is an employee recognition, and it must be heard. It must be seen across the organization. How? you got to communicate across the organizations, across the teams, across the leaders, and they got to handshake. Yes, if they help others to perform, and their actions would be recognized. So employee recognition, and this is really very important. We often forget that they are working, and they are working hard. We're giving them maybe a formal recognition, maybe some award. But hey, look and think about it. Not necessarily always the formal recognition would be motivating factor for me, but often I'm going to talk about in the next three segments what are the informal ways to motivate, what are the formal ways to motivate, and how can you do that. And that's exactly the reward for helping others you can actually integrate inside the organization, and that can spark this is kind of the effect. If I give an example, if you throw a stone towards the pond, right? And if the stone is bigger, guess what is going to create? It's going to create a bigger wave, and the bigger the wave is, the bigger the reflection towards the bank of the pond or river. So how methodically you are designing your reward and recognition system, be it formal or be it non-formal, the wave of the stone, which is the reward and recognition, going to create towards the bank of the pond. So it all depends on you. So if you really want to know, stay focused towards the next two segment of our episode, and I'm coming back to you on detail. This is now commercial time. Enjoy. And those who are watching onto the Facebook on IBGR network in the next 2.5 minutes is actually we are going to have the commercial break. So we actually started to the commercial break. So I would like to have some questions and comments, and my team probably can bring some of the questions in front so that I can address towards the last segment of today's episode. And don't forget to subscribe IBGR network to stay tuned. There are various other, a lot of other programs also, happening all over the world. And this is the radio station, it is being heard, it has been seen 114 nations as of now. So I am requesting you to stay tuned and subscribe IBGR network, and also ask questions. You can ask me questions from IBGR network and also from CKH network. In either way, I'm going to answer it into the last segment. So that's what we are going to do. So let me share it to my profile so that others can join it, and I hope you also sharing it for others. So after each 12.5 minutes, we actually going to have 2.5 minutes commercial break. And during this break time, I actually can have the conversation with you, those who are watching into the Facebook, and those who would be watching from IBGR network, CKH network, or even YouTube channel. You can ask me all the questions, and I'm happy to answer it. Is being heard, it has been seen 114 IBGR network. And each week, every week, I'm going to come live on the Thursday, same time, that is 1 p.m. Bangladesh time, 12:30 Indian time, and this is Dhaka time is GMT +6. So stay tuned and ask me questions, and I'm happy to respond to all of your questions. So we pretty soon we're going to start our second episode, and on the second episode I'm going to talk about very important aspect of as I briefed, why you should listen. Right now I'm going to talk about what are the things you actually can bring into the organizations as an reward recognition system. So I'm going to talk about this in detail. So let me welcome my viewers and those who are watching. Welcome back to this radio station. You're watching IBGR network, and this is your host, Coach Kamrul Hasan, and today we are we are doing on here on episode 9, and today we're talking about reward for helping others to perform for your business. And this is the business segment, stage for hockey stick growth. Actually, how can you create exponential growth for your organizations? And I'm happy to have interactions. And if you're new watching here or viewing here from IBGR network or CKH network page or website or into the YouTube channel, please feel free to drop your questions and comments, and I'm going to respond some of your questions on the fourth segment today rather, because this is in Bangladesh, this is noon time in the US, this is midnight. So those are watching from various part of the world, please let me know from where you are, and also ask me questions, and so that I can address. You know, as I talked about the reward for special effort. So I'm going to talk about informal reward and also the formal reward. As I discussed in earlier in our first segment, you see, it doesn't matter really reward is formal or informal, but the matter is it has to be there. And I also talked about why in my first segment. If you haven't heard it, make sure you're going back and you're also watching or listening those. Now I'm going to talk about what are the different informal ways that you actually can create the methodical way inside your organization, so that you are maintaining, creating impactful organization. What the first phase you have started. See, there are many things that actually does not cost a lot of money, but it matters your intention. Why? These are informal. Some of the ways that I'm going to share with you. What are those? Just think about it. Saying somebody thank you, for the good work. Thank you. Maybe a thank you coming back, your boss coming back to you and saying, "Hey, thank you so much for great job done. Thank you so much for doing this on time. Thank you so much for getting the result, for getting the customers, for completing this project on time." What it matters to you? Will it not matter to you? I'm sure it would, because I have worked 20 years, and I have started working selling books on the street. To I have worked for 5 multinational organizations. You see, my dimension selling books on the street in 1997 to selling hundreds of millions dollars of worth of telecom equipment for Ericsson, Huawei, Jetty. So, and I have experienced, this hundreds of $1 million project, also selling books, when my boss coming and patting my shoulder, "Hey, you're doing really great. You've done a great day today. And uh, uh, thank you for your effort. Marvelous. You're doing, massive contribution towards the organization. If it is a big project, if it is a big sale, big revenue, big project, you can say, if it is not sales, think about it. Somebody, you can appreciate, yes, you are doing good actually to create great customer satisfaction, customer retention, customer experience, great value addition you in my team. So thank you in person makes a significant difference inside of your people. Then that's pretty important. And what the second thing I want to share with you is handwritten letter of appreciation. In my work days at HSBC, I remember I got twice handwritten appreciation letter from my boss. Once from Mr. Farooq Hussain. Now he's the chief marketing officer of United Group, and Mr. Mesbauddin Ahmed. He was the manager. No, he both of them once each of the time they have written, okay, Mr. Kamrul, as a newcomer inside the organization, you're creating continuous result by bringing new customers, orienting new organizations. Thank you and keep it up. Guess what? That sparked me inside so much so. And that is to me more than giving money, more than any sort of recognition. No, that's what often I say. Don't forget to to write even a thank you note. And you also can do use the organization's letter newsletter. Write down your top performers. Those are contributing. Maybe significant, maybe insignificant. Doesn't matter. But matter is whether you are actually recognizing them, because that's what I have said. They love to be seen, to be heard, and to be recognized. Remember it. The four, give an employee a day off. Yeah, maybe you just tell him go to the vacation, take a day off. Maybe offer a flexible work hours. Maybe if you're more kind, give a give a computer upgradation. If you're giving computer, if you're giving the cell phone. I used to have the cell phones from 2001 from the organization. I started working professionally from HSBC. So we got dresses, we got cell phones, and also we got new cell phones every 2 years. Think about it. you know mm, 10 years I have been receiving from the organization. Guess what? Think what? It felt so good to me. So think about it. Maybe offer to mentor your employer. Say, I'm going to mentor you 1 hour in the next week. Have a come and have a coffee with me. It would, trust me, it works much faster than money, because he or she, the employee, gets the touch, human touch, your affections. That's what the empathy is, because it is giving him the confidence and trust. Another thing I want to connect with that, a lot of time we give training, but think about it. If you give training as a recognition, as an appreciation, yes, you have done a great job, and this is the training that I am going to give you for your career improvement. So, normal way you give a training versus what I'm saying is attach the training as a reward. As this is an informal, because the formal way is training calendars, training way, but informal way of giving them a training when somebody doing a great job. You say, I remember, I tell you, I got a great training at Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. Once I worked significantly for Rana Plaza victims. I worked with Associated British Food of London, and then we worked days and nights. So as a result, I got Chairman's Excellence Award, Sir Fazli Hassan Abed. I got appreciation letter, I got monetary reward, I got recognition. At the same time, organization gave me a very good training program at Indian Institute of Management, which is the flagship organization in India. And that's also the teamwork and recognition, also the teamwork and leadership. And I was so happy, once I got the money, and the second time when I got this training as a reward. This is different. Reward as a non-cash bonus often ignites much than cash bonus. Maybe maybe you can also recognize the work anniversaries. Write down, hey, you have been working hard, working sincerely, contributing my organization. You know, uh, I want to recognize coming. This is your third year. Or tomorrow is going to be third year. You get to take day off. You get a, this is your some voucher. Go out with the family and celebrate this day. And remember, with the family, your work matters most for the organization. That's the message. If you can do that, bet and I guarantee this employees retention never ever would be a worry for you, or the motivation, the performance, the owning the job, or taking the responsibility. Nothing can stop you. The employee would be unstoppable for you, for your mission. you know uh, Oftentimes we forget this small gesture of love, a small gesture of appreciation, brings enormous result. Enormous result. How often you think you have done it? If you're watching now, if you're an employee, if you're team leader, CEOs, how often you have received this kind of tap on your shoulder, hands note, thank you note, going your boss or your employer taking you out to the dinner, lunch, giving a bonus voucher, giving you the training as a bonus, recognition, recognizing your work as a contribution, you know, and giving a day off, your, texting you, messaging you for your marriage ceremony, work anniversary. Think about it. This is non-formal. This is non-formal. Oftentimes we struggle to bring the motivated employees towards the organization. Commitment, sincerity, hard work, dedication. You heard it, right? Lot of things. But often we forget to do the small things. And remember, this small thing matters the most end of the day. As I said in my first segment today, and remember, you're watching the reward for helping others to perform, and business is stage four, hockey stick growth, you recognizing your potential for business. Oftentimes we struggle, we as an employer, because I am now as an entrepreneur running multiple organizations. Now we understand what's the intrinsic value of motivation. What's the intrinsic value for wholehearted approach, wholeheartedness. You know, it matters end of the day bringing the effective organization to efficient organization and creating multiplier impact towards the net revenue. It kind of sounds today is 10%. Each team, imagine the 20 teams, 10%, how they're going to be. Stay tuned to the next segment. I'm going to talk about how. Thank you. So those who are watching on the Facebook, now it's time to interact with you. So in this segment, as you know, that I have been talking about the informal way of recognition, giving them reward for uh, for your hockey stick growth of your organization, and this can bring value, right? This can bring value for for your dream come true. So let me see now if I have any question comments from the Facebook. Those who are watching, can I have some questions if I may ask, or collect those questions that you want me to address uh, today, in my segment. In the last segment, I'm going to address some of your questions. And if you're new to IBGR network, please, you can go and download the show note. What I'm talking is actually a structured lessons. What I'm talking is actually the lessons I have learned over the years, and that I believe can help you to achieve to become the efficient organization and to be more purposeful. So let me see. And the structure of this radio show is every 12 and a half minutes we got 2.5 minutes commercial break, and into this commercial break, we can speak to you on the Facebook. On my left, on my right, there are three screens. Those are watching, I can now interact. I can communicate in the back end on my IBGR network, giving me some feedback, also giving me some kind of connections. And on my screen, I have the radio show things are set up. I'll show you sometime. So I believe that you're getting some benefit out of it. So we are going to begin in the next two segments. I'm going to talk about the formal way of recognition for your employees, and uh, how you can implement it for your organization. And today is the episode 9, and I'm your host, Coach Kamrul Hasan from Bangladesh, on your reward for helping others to perform for your business, for your organization. And remember, this is a weekly show, and I'm coming every week, same time, same place on IBGR Network, CKH Network page, and also the YouTube channel. So welcome back to the IBGR network. If you are new, please make sure you're downloading the show notes and also the come back in each and every week, the same time, same place. I am coming every week. This is your show. I'm your host, Coach Kamrul Hasan from Bangladesh, hosting Reward for helping others to perform tonight, today, this afternoon is the nine, episode 9. And we're talking about reward for helping others. We have covered in the first segment why you got to implement the reward recognition, and then we said about the, for informal reward, what are those informal reward, and we'll be talking about how you can implement later on. Also, what are the formal reward? Now, I'm going to talk about next 12 minutes. What are the formal rewarding system? Because you have heard me, informal. There are so many ways, and those are really, really very good. You see, you know, uh, oftentimes we forget, right? So actually, we focus oftentimes creating a formal reward system, formal recognition. Yeah, it is a professional organization. We must be very formal. Yes, it, you no, you, yeah, yeah, you got to be. You should be. You need to be. But you cannot ignore never ever the benefit of informal way of at the same time setting up the formal reward and recognition. Also, you got to be very careful. You got to be very careful about how, you know let me take you through, the formal way of the uh, setting the process, so that no two things you got to be very careful. You got to be very careful of, how you're going to measure it, right? Now, once an employee is performing, be it sales, be it customer service, creating a exponential growth, or creating a delightful experience, or contributing a process to be more robust, more rewarding for the organization. You got to be realistic. You got to be very realistic, setting up this, methodical way of setting goals. Realistic, because if it is not realistic, it would not motivate, it would not inspire, and you would not, get the increased sales, because in realistic and which is kind of not communicated, not been shaked hands. This is one thing we do mistake. As a boss, we do set target, and that's fine. That's fine. You do, and but what is the mistaken part is this target has not been communicated and agreed upon. You see, you know, has to be communicated verbally, written document wise, and you got to sit down, you got to agree on, you got to handshake and sign off. No, and then you got to listen, you get to hear, from your employees, those who are working for you. So what I'm saying is essentially, be realistic on setting up the, set clear, realistic, measurable objectives, such as increasing sales, improving customer service, and accomplishments, or maybe a better customer feedback. Think about it. Think about it. A better customer feedback has been given, and you as a boss, you as an owner of the organization, you are, what you're doing, you're taking care of it, you're accounting it. If I receive maybe, five customer feedback, say for an example, in a quarter or in a month, I'm going to, you'd be rewarded, some of the benefits that we'll be talking about. That could be, formal way of recognition and informal way of cash and non-cash. But this is very important to be communicated, to be heard, to be seen, and also to be engaged with your team members, with your employees. And at the same time, think about the program design and structure. How you going to create, design and structure of the non-formal and also the formal. You see, on the non-formal, as I talked about, if you're just logging in now and if you're listening now, what are those? I said thank you. I said, handwritten letter. I said, about the newsletter. I said about the day off, giving a good gadget and upgrading it. Celebrating the anniversary. Or even other kind of anniversaries. Taking out with the lunch and dinner. So you see, these are non-formal. I'm not talking about the formal things. Somebody increasing the sales, somebody doing a repeat sales, somebody doing repetitive customers, somebody creating the transactional value of the customer increasing every month. You see, the transactional value of each customer, if it is $100, in my last episode I talked about, you got to increase every customer's transactional value. Ticket size is one, and how can you increase the ticket size? And by repeat customers, by repeat products, and you got to measure it. What I'm talking about in this reward system, you got to have a proper reward system which is connected with the sales, feedback, customer recognition, and also in the earlier days we talked about the creating a delightful customer experience. You see, the customer delight is a result of your employees' thought, values, behaviors, and demonstrated effect through various means and methods. Maybe email communication, maybe phone, maybe conversation, maybe sales, maybe closing, maybe giving feedback, maybe customers, maybe often how your employees is actually even doing there outside in the mall even, right. So it all eventually creates customer values and perceptions towards your organization. And how do you communicate these values? Because what we are talking about, end of the day, as a leader, you got to create value based culture. You got to create culture, and that is such an important thing. How can we create culture? You can create culture by setting up proper reward recognition system, measurable, which gives a sustainability, which gives transparency, which gives an ownership, accountability, clarity, and I know what I am going to get. I know what is there waiting for me. you know uh, these are the things: clarity, focus, goal, objective, performance. Is interlinked. If I am not creating a clear goal and objective to set, how you as an employee can achieve that? You see, I don't know what is my KPI. I don't know what is the this year target, or this month's target, this quarter's target, or today how I'm going to be measured. I am thinking, as last 3 years, I have been, transformed myself from an employee to employer. Now I see more of it in different perspective, in different eyes. Earlier I was into the force. Now I am outside the force. What do I mean by outside the force and inside the force? Is very important for you to understand. Is inside the force is an employee who is working days and nights, the teams working and projects on your given targets or something that you are looking forward. And these employees are inside the organization, inside the work, inside the team, inside the organization's target. Now I'm talking about the outside the organization. It's a different views as an owner, as a team leader, or as a coach. You must have. What is that? You got to see how somebody is moving. Somebody is actually moving forward, moving backward, moving sideways, or moving towards the magnet. What is the magnet? Magnet is, sorry, I just have a sip of water. The magnet is the target of the organization. The magnet is the customer retention. Magnet is could be the sales. The magnet could be customer retention. Magnets could be efficiency of accomplishing any task 20% more, becoming efficient end of the day. So if you set several magnet as a performance driven towards that, you know that's the outside force you're creating, setting, and communicating, connecting towards the magnet. Magnet. I have explained what's the magnet, and that can give you a dynamic force is an North Pole and South Pole. When both of the things, let's say this is north and south uh, of a magnet, right? So if it is south and south, it will not attract. So it has to be attracted, north and south. It has to be properly placed. So outside view, having a magnetic view, which is properly set, which is properly communicated, and it's not the same way. It is the set in a way which connect, which can pull, and not pushing. So I say now this is push and pull. Push and pull strategy. But how can you pull your employees? How can you pull your employees' mindset, dedication, heart, sincerity? How can you pull from inside out? So that's significant important today. Often we say, hey, come on, you got to be you know empathetic. As a coach, we often say, you got to own the job. And then owning the job, you got to pull it. What pull the ownership of the employees towards the magnet for the organization, so that it is resulting the values, culture, the organization set goal. End of the day, all together, this is creating a value based, a culture which is congenial for others to perform. So, and that's what very important. So that's what I have been talking into this third segment, and you're watching IBGR Network, and this is show 9 on business growth or artistic growth. We're talking about the potentials, and everybody has the potential, and that's what rewarding. We're going to have a commercial break, and hope you'll be coming back after 2.5 minutes. Those who are watching on the Facebook right now, this is the time to to have a conversation with you, and also the you know communicating and connecting with my back office, how it is going on. Because you see, the online radio show is is pretty difficult sometimes to manage, to see. Now we are doing it online radio, and also at the same time bringing it on air for the audience of IBGR network page, Facebook page, and also the CK's network Facebook page and YouTube. And later on, we are going to go to the and also LinkedIn, and also the other social media as well. So those who are watching on the Facebook, let me see. What are the questions and comments, because in this segment I really would love to respond some of your questions, comments, and some of your queries that if you want to ask me. So I'm really looking forward from you, from IBGR network. This is, if you're new to this, International Business Growth Radio Network from USA, and it is now getting on here in 114 countries right at this moment. At the same time, we are now live on Facebook, YouTube. We go slowly to Instagram Live, and also the LinkedIn Live, and beyond. So I'm really looking forward to have some of your questions, some of your comments, so that I can address it. Uh, I'm looking forward. My team, whether if you can, if there is any question and comments, if I can have those, I'll be coming back after uh, after about uh, after about a minute, so that so that I can respond to it. So right now, the US audience, the Brazilian, the Morocco, and Bangladesh. That's what I got my feedback from my back end. So they're watching on the internet, and also the Facebook live is happening. So it's pretty interesting. And do let me know if my improvement because I'm learning. I'm focusing for improvement as well. So. On to the next, we are moving into the next last segment, where I'll talk about some other areas of how you're going to have it. At the same time, also the how you can implement it, Right, welcome back to IBGR Network. This is International Business Growth Radio Network, which is on air to 140 nations all over the world. We're live from IBGR page. At the same time, we're live to CKH Network page. And now, if you're new to this space, make sure you're going to IBGR Network and also download the show note where I have briefly given you the structure, what I'm talking about. This is the ninth episode on the business side on people. And today is we're talking about reward for helping others to perform. And this is very important to you. And last episode we talked about the reward for special effort. And towards the next episode, we're going to talk about compensation is fair. I'm going to invite you in advance to watch our next episode Thursday, same time, same place, which is Bangladesh time, 1 p.m. India time, 12:30 p.m. US time. I think is 3 a.m. And please, this is Bangladesh time, Greenwich Mean Time, GMT +6. So convert your time and make sure you're coming back and downloading the show notes and also watching the podcast. This is also available to our page as well. So coming back, we talked about reward for helping others, and we've covered why. We have covered what the informal ways of reward and recognition. We have talked about why it is important. We talked about a bit how you can implement the formal reward and recognition system, and what are the things you got to be very careful. And uh, and, and, and let me know if you really liked it. If you have any question, comments, those are watching on the Facebook page, those watching on the IBGR network online, please give us the uh, comments and let me know. Would what do you think and what are you thinking about and how? What are the things also you want to be heard? Right, I would be happy to bring into the next segment when I'm talking about the compensation is fair. A lot of people would say no, it's not. But compensation is fair. It's my next topic next Thursday, 1 p.m. Let's jump into next 10 minutes. How you can implement it. Would you be interested to know more of hows? And do you have any question? If you have questions, I'm looking forward to have your questions to answer and respond. If you're watching on IBGR network or CKH network, welcome to put questions. You know, we got to be very careful on implementing the formal recognition. How do you tailor? You see, would you like to have a shirt which is not fitting your size versus a fitting shirt? You go to the tailor, the tailor takes your measurement and then to give you trial and then fit you. And how do you feel that versus a shirt somebody giving you random size? You need XL but you got medium size. Would you love it? Would you like it? Would you be impressed? Would you be motivated? If it is to me, certainly I won't, because it's not fitting. So remember, when you are rewarding towards your employees, your organization, it has to fit in and it has to tailor for your employees what they need, what they're looking forward, what is the values that you are trying to put inside as a culture you want to embody inside the organization. So it has to be tailor made. Often say, oh, okay, this is the reward and recognition. Okay, go and get it done. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way because that's not befitting. That's not tailored. So this is one thing we must be very careful on, and also making it, tailoring it. So how to, right? And there are many ways, there are many methods. You go and talk, you go focus with discussions, you invite your leaders, talk with, you invite the opinion group, somebody who is opinion leader, somebody is may not opinion leader, but you make sure you're inviting them. And guess what, the second step is you have to promote it. You have to promote your reward system across the organization, through formal channel, through informal channel, whatever way of communication, maybe the email, maybe the notice board, maybe the town hall meetings, maybe the team meetings, maybe the appraisals or the newsletter. You know it, right? What are the ways you have inside your organizations? What are the communication channels you have? But make sure you are promoting. You are promoting. So I would want to ask you, what do you think? What do you think? So, uh, have you ever came across the organization? Uh, so, like, so when you didn't know that what is actually the reward for the organization, and then all of a sudden, when time passed, maybe 20%, 30% of the competition has gone by, then maybe right? So, what would you feel then? Would you feel motivated? Would you feel demoralized? I'm sure. And that's why actually the communication is pretty important across the organization. That has to be made sure. And as you progress towards the reward scheme, so you got to monitor it, you got to measure it. And so how far it is going, how better it is going, or how good it is going. Do you need to fine tune it? Do you really need to adjust a bit? Do you really need to stop it right now? Or do you think this is not going good? So you see, so how can you do that? What do you think? What I think is, like, you need to actually continuously measure it, and measure it. The progress. Uh, 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 this is very important. This is very important. And another thing I want to share with you is the sharing the success. See, if one or two employees is actually achieved any result, achieved anything for your program's reward, you need to celebrate the success for others. You need to celebrate it for to create the attraction. What will happen with that is your employees, those who are achieving this result and recognition, you'd feel much empowered. You'd feel much more than happy if you are now celebrating, because you're celebrating not only for him, you're celebrating because the other employees inside and outside the organization also get to know what is your values, what is your culture, and how you're promoting your organization's work ethics, work culture, the values, the benefits, the reward recognition system. And people, it's a nature, right? They want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be recognized, they want to be appreciated. This is a core human nature. And oftentimes we forget to celebrate the smaller uh, achievements of milestone. uh, Guess what? Smaller milestones, which brings the staggering impact effect end of small ways of achieving it, small ways of gaining that contraction out of the project. See, as a owner of an organization, what I feel is, you know we try to celebrate it. For an example, we are now running towards a campaign, and where we're giving employable skills towards the university undergrad or graduates. And when they're going through, we are now giving them job connectivity. So yesterday, one of our employees got a job. So now what is happening is we're celebrating across all the social media and promoting him. So that employee, essentially, who got a job through us, is feeling happy, definitely. At the same time, others, those watching, I'm sure they'd be inspired to do that program, which is the result of the job. So this is very important, and these masses should be set across. So that's what I want to ask you. What do you think? What is about your ideas about sharing success, sharing the recognition? I want to hear from you, and let me see if there is any question from the Facebook. I would like to have uh, you know respond to some of you. All right, so looks like they're saying informative sessions, and some asking questions. All right, so if there is no other question, maybe later on we can address. So I would want to invite you also to join with us on every week on IBGR network Facebook page onto the online space and download the show note where you'd see what I'm talking today, right? All this informal, formal ways of, what are the key issues and what are the impact. Oftentimes it is said the reciprocal values, the reciprocity of the reward and recognition. You see, the reciprocity is actually you get a reward and recognition as a result of doing something. You know, what I want to say is the reciprocal values often cannot be measured because the impact is unknown, unseen. Because one direct result is because you are helping your employees, you're getting the reward and recognition, and that's what the topic is. But the other unseen and unheard ways of the reciprocal values of helping others is intrinsic motivation, creating a robust values and culture, creating a healthier work environment, creating an empowering organization, creating an ownership. That's you really can't count the reciprocal values. The As a result of creating the reward for helping others to perform is sometimes so deep inside the mind, but the important thing is you doing it correct. You doing it, be it formal, be it non-formal. What I'm saying is very essential is as a human being, right? The core of you is motivation, your empowerment. And that's what we're going to talk each and every week, same time, same place. And next week, we're going to talk about, in this hockey stick episode, com- compensation is fair. And I would like to welcome you to the next episode. Thank you for joining and stay tuned to IBGR Network. Right now, we are on the last 15 second on the commercials is ongoing. Do let us know uh, what's going on and what is actually your views and your points about our shows. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching and staying with us. And please make sure that you are connecting with us to IBGR network to listen, to watch the hundreds of other shows from all over the world, from different persons, those who are contributing, and and then you can learn various other topics. Go and log into IBGR network and see what are the topics, and they have put a great shows from all over the world. I know great people are coming and joining as a host of various shows. This is your host, Coach Kamrul Hasan, signing off from episode 9 from Reward for helping others to perform. And next episode going to be compensation is fair. Till then, take care, stay well, stay healthy, and stay with IBGR network and take care of yourself. See you next year, same time, same place, 1 p.m. Dhaka time, 12:30 p.m. Indian time, and other part of the time. This is GMT plus 6. May God bless you.